So after everything that we have looked at with adding integers, using counters, using a number line, thinking about money, there are some patterns and things that you should have started to notice. And if you haven't noticed that, I'm going to bring some of those patterns to your attention today. So please open your spirals to a new blank page, and at the top of your page, write the title of today's notes: Adding Integers, Rules, and Patterns. So the first rule that I want to talk about is when you're adding two numbers that are the same. So here we're looking at adding two positive numbers. And you guys have been adding positive numbers since kindergarten, so this should be a pretty easy rule for us to remember. When you're adding two positive numbers, your answer is always positive. And again, you can always think about money. If I have $2 and then I have 9 more, now I have 11. So 17 plus 5, 17 is positive, 5 is positive. Your answer is positive 22. This is probably your easiest rule. So let's go ahead and take a minute and copy this first rule into our notes and the examples underneath of the rule. Pause the video and copy this rule into your notes. The next rule is also very simple. Just like the positive rule, when you're adding two numbers that are negative, your answer is going to be a larger negative number. So think about owing $2 and then owing $9. Now you owe $11. So negative 2 plus negative 9 equals negative 11. All we did was add 9 plus 2 and keep our answer negative. Negative 5 plus negative 8 is negative 13. You add 5 plus 8 and keep your answer negative. You owe $5, then you owe 8 more. Now you owe a total of $13. Negative 13 plus negative 7, add 13 plus 7, and your answer is negative 20. Pause the video and copy this second rule into your notes. This third rule is probably the hardest rule. This is when you have one of each type of number that you're adding. So if you have one negative and one positive. The easiest way for me to add one of each is to think about money. But this is another way if the money way does not make sense. The first step is to find the absolute value of both of the numbers you're adding. Absolute value is the distance away from 0. It's always positive. So it does not matter if your answer is negative or positive, the absolute value is going to be a positive number. For example, the absolute value of negative 4 is 4. That's how far away from 0 negative 4 is. The absolute value of negative 8 is 8. The absolute value of positive 4 is 4. It is 4 away from 0, just in the opposite direction of the number line as negative 4. To get to negative 4, we go to the left. To get to positive 4, we go to the right. But it's still 4 spaces away from 0. The absolute value of positive 8 is 8. Again, these two values have the same absolute value. They're the same distance away from 0, just opposite directions on the number line. Negative 8 is to the left, positive 8 is to the right. So your first step when adding one positive and one negative number is to find the absolute value of both of the numbers you're adding. Then subtract the smaller number from the larger number. Looking at the absolute value, not the real value of the number. Then you're going to keep the sign of the number with the greatest absolute value. These steps might seem a little confusing, but when we look at them with examples, I think they'll make more sense to you. So let's take a minute, pause the video, and copy these steps for rule number 3 into your spiral, and then we will look at some examples together. So here's example number 1. Step number 1 is to find the absolute value of both numbers. The absolute value of positive 7 is 7. The absolute value of negative 4 is 4. So we have 7 and 4. Then you subtract the smaller number from the larger number. So this is step 2. 7 minus 4 is 3. Then you have to think, which absolute value is larger, 7 or 4? 7 is greater than 4. 7 in the original problem was positive. So our answer is positive 3. I like to think about money. So let's look at this same example using money and see how it also helps us to do the addition in our head. Think about having $7 and you owe somebody negative 4. Do you have enough money to pay them off? Yes, because you have more than you owe. So imagine giving them the $4 that you owe them. How much do you still have left? Well, we owe them 4, so 7 minus 4 is 3. We still have $3. That's another way to add one negative and one positive number in your head. Let's look at example number 2 using the steps. Step number 1 is to find the absolute value of both numbers that you're adding. So I'm going to find the absolute value of negative 9, which is 9, and 5, which is 5. Then I'm going to subtract the smaller number from the larger number. 9 minus 5 is 4. On this problem, 9 has a larger absolute value than 5. In the original problem, 9 was negative. So the answer is negative 4 because 9 is greater than 5 and 9 was negative. So you have to put the negative sign on your answer as well. Now, again, let's look at this same example using money. Now you owe $9, but you only have 5. Do you have enough to pay off what you owe? You do not, but you can pay off part of what you owe. You're going to give them $5 of the money you owe. How much more do you still owe? 9 minus 5, you still owe $4 more. So your answer, again, is negative 4. Please pause the video now and copy this into your notes. Now let's try some problems together. Get out your marker and your sock from the boxes on your desk. Do not put your notes away. You are still learning this. The reason we copy notes is so you can go back and look at your notes when you need help. Leave it on your desk, so if you forget the rule, you can look at the rule and the example as you practice. Pause the video and try number 1 on your desk. This problem is very similar to the last example that we looked at, except now instead of the 9 being negative, the 5 is negative. So let's find the absolute value of both. You have 5 and 9. So you're going to take the larger number and subtract the smaller number, which is 4. The difference here is 9 has the largest absolute value, and now 9 is positive. So my answer is not -4, my answer is +4. Pause the video and try number 2 on your desk. So in example number 2, you're adding 2 negative numbers, which is the second rule. So we add and keep the sign negative. So 3 plus 2 is 5, and the answer is -5. Again, you can also think about money. I owe $3, then I borrowed 2 more from my mom, and now I owe a total of $5. If I am owing money, it's a negative. Let's pause the video and try number 3 on our desk. So number 3, again, is an example of 1 positive and 1 negative number. So you can take the absolute value of each, 8 and 7, and subtract the larger number from the smaller number. 8 minus 7 is 1. 8 is a larger absolute value. 8 is positive, so my answer is +1. Again, thinking about money, here you owe $7 and you have 8. So you have more money than what you owe. You pay off the $7 that you owe and you still have $1 left. If you have money, it's positive. So if you have $1, you have +1. Pause the video and try number 4. So again, we have 1 positive and 1 negative number. So you're going to take the absolute value of each, 10 and 3, and subtract the smaller number from the larger number. 10 minus 3 is 7. The larger number is 10, and 10 is positive, so my answer is +7. Again, you can think about money. I have $10, and I owe my mom 3. I pay my mom what I owe her, and then I still have 7 left. If I have $7, my answer is positive. Pause the video and try number 5. So number 5 is just like number 2. We are adding 2 negative numbers. So we add 8 plus 4, which is 12, and we keep the answer negative. So our answer is -12. Pause the video and try number 6. Here we would do the absolute value. 5 minus 1 is 4. 5 is a larger number. 5 is positive, so our answer is +4. I hope you guys are starting to get the hang of adding negative and positive numbers. I have a few more practice problems for you to try. In these problems, we are using a little bit of algebra. So we are going to use the same expression for every single problem that we do. The only thing that's going to change is the number that we start with. So they are telling us what n equals, and we are going to plug it into the expression. So our expression is n plus 2. So here we have n is -10. So for number 8, you have -10 plus 2. Pause the video and try that problem on your desk. So here we have a negative number and a positive number. We are going to take the absolute value of both and subtract. 10 minus 2 is 8. But 10 is a larger absolute value, and 10 is negative. So my answer would be -8. You can also think about money. You owe $10 and you have 2. You don't have enough to pay off everything you owe. but you can pay off part of it. So you give the $2 and you still owe 8 more. If you still owe money, your answer has to be negative. Pause the video and try number 9. I hope you guys all found number 9 to be super easy. When you plug number 9 into your expression, you basically have 2 plus 2, which is something we could all do in elementary. It's a positive plus a positive, which gives us positive 4. Pause the video and try number 10. When we plug negative 15 into our expression, we have negative 15 plus 2. If we take the absolute value, we have 15 minus 2, which gives us 13. 15 has a larger absolute value, and 15 is negative. So our answer is negative 13. Again, if you owe $15 and you have $2, you can pay off part of what you owe, but you'll still owe 13 more. Pause the video and try number 11. When you plug 12 into your expression, you have 12 plus 2, which again is a very simple problem. A positive plus a positive is positive 14. One more problem. Pause the video and try number 12 on your desk. Number 12 is negative 20 plus 2. Take the absolute value and you have 20 minus 2, which is 18. But 20 has a larger absolute value and 20 is negative. So my answer is negative 18. Again, thinking about money, if you owe $20 and you have 2, you can pay off $2 of what you owe, but you will still owe 18 more dollars. I hope you guys are all starting to get the hang of adding integers. Next week, we will be moving on to subtracting integers. Tomorrow, you guys are going to practice adding integers by completing a puzzle. I miss you all, and I hope you're doing a great job and that you're on your very best behavior. Have a great day.